This recording is done to help you with the Cytology or the Mitosis lab. So here is a helpful mnemonic that I have come across called I passed my anatomy test. And this represents the different phases of the cell cycle, not just mitosis, because the I represents interphase. Passed would be prophase, my for metaphase, anatomy for anaphase, and test for telophase. So I passed my anatomy test. So the order of the cell cycle is interphase, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. So remember that interphase is technically not part of mitosis, but it is part of the whole cell cycle. And this is the time when the cell is doing its daily activities. If it's a liver cell, it's doing what the liver does. If it's a lung cell, it's doing what the lung does. But at the end of interphase, the DNA that's in the nucleus is duplicated, and then we are ready to begin prophase. So the phases of mitosis are prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. And hopefully in your textbook or in your lab you have already talked about what happens in each one of those phases. At the very end of mitosis, we also go through a process called cytokinesis. And cytokinesis is when the cell that is dividing is now actually divided into two identical daughter cells. And it's not a specific phase that begins and ends like after the end of mitosis. It actually begins during late anaphase and is usually completed by the end of telophase. The slides that I will be using for this video are taken from the Ohio State University Medical Center, and here is the website. So here I am at the Ohio State University's Medical Center, their virtual histology lab, and I've clicked on cytology, cell division, and most of the time fish, blastula, and onion root are usually used because in a very short or a very small space you can see all of the different phases of the cell cycle. And we're going to use the fish blastula. And so on this slide we have several different blastula. And so I'm going to click on one of these, and here we're going to be able to see several different phases here all in one area. So first of all, for interphase, you're probably not going to see anything in the center. You're not going to see the nucleus. So this would be an interphase, and this cell would be an interphase, and this one would be an interphase. So you really don't see anything. Now for prophase, because the DNA has coiled into the chromosomes, we actually see the DNA. And so this one would be in prophase. And it's kind of just this cluster of DNA here. So that would be prophase. Metaphase, all of those have lined up exactly in the middle. So anything where you see it exactly in the middle, that is metaphase. Here would be a prophase again, and here's a metaphase. Now once the chromosomes start to come apart, we are in anaphase. Now this one is definitely an anaphase. You can just see that the two rows have started to split apart. This would be another one that's just beginning anaphase. If I look at this one and this one over here, these two I would actually call telophase, because they're far enough apart and you can start to see right here where the cells have started to divide. They're kind of pinching in a little bit on the sides, and that is one of the parts of cytokinesis. So these two would be in telophase. I'm going to click on one of the other samples here and again show you all of the different phases that are present here. So because we can't really see anything, all of these cells would be in interphase. This one here, because I can see the DNA, I would call that prophase. I want to do this in order for you. Then here we have two very obvious metaphase examples. They're all lined up exactly in the middle. Anaphase is when they start to pull apart. Here I can start to see them coming apart. This is another one in anaphase, just the beginning parts of anaphase. Here's anaphase as well. There's anaphase, and I would call it anaphase. I really don't see much of the cytokinesis happening yet. But here we have one at the very end of telophase. This is the nucleus. This is the nucleus of the two new daughter cells. Same thing with this one. And see how deep that cleavage furrow has gotten, that splitting of the two. And so these two samples right here are at the end of telophase. So I hope that helped you to be able to identify the stages of the cell cycle.